Good morning, everybody. I'm happy I'm able to address you and to talk about microbiota and IBS. Do you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we continue. So you have to come to work where they have this microbiome institute to learn that microbiota and microbiome is currently in the focus. It has covered already several important papers in the scientific world. The coverage pages, but also beyond that. So now we have like the Economist cover page committed to the gut microbiota because there is a huge potential in improving health and preserving health and improving health via this virtual organ of the human body, which is microbiota. So just briefly, the microbiota is inhabiting primarily the colon, so the most high density is there in the colon. In total, we have up to 10 to the 14 of microbial cells. This is probably exceeding the number of Muslims, and it is exceeding the number of humans that have ever lived. It is very numerous, and in each person we have several hundreds of species which are present. Like I have my own 500 species, my own zoo, and each of you has his own zoo. And it's very complex. There are all three domains of life in the gut. We have bacteria, archaea, eukarya. And it's very heavy. But this is not something which makes it important. We sort of knew that there were always some bacteria living in us. But what we have learned recently is that they code much more genes than us. So like 100-fold or 300-fold more genes they are coded by gut microbes. So their genomes are much larger. Of course, their genomes are coding for functions which are needed for their own growth and life. But some of the functions which are coded by markers are essential for our good. So for instance, vitamin K, which is essential for the coagulation of blood, for healing the wounds, is produced by gut microbes and delivered to the human. So we live in a symbiosis where their metabolism is complementing our metabolism. However, what happened in the developed societies, in Western lifestyle in particular, is that we have sort of deviated from the natural, let's say, and by changing the lifestyle, the diet in particular, by excessive hygiene, application of antibiotics, there have been changes in the gut microbiota ecosystem which have had an impact on the health. So what we have now is in many people who have chronic diseases is that they have a stable microbiota, but the composition is not in such a way that it produces beneficial metabolites for the humans. In particular in IBS, here we can also add to the list infection, which can then disturb the composition of ecosystem, which then loses its normal function. So we know that microbiota is influencing IBS, that it is impacting IBS. There are many ways in which microbiota can do harm, let's say, or can promote symptoms in IBS. For instance, it is fermenting carbohydrates, it is producing gas, and if there is a lot of gas, there can be bloating and pain in some patients. So this will be one mechanism by involvement of microbiota in IBS, but also it is producing short-chain fatty acids which are beneficial. And then short-chain fatty acids are also influencing intestinal permeability. We know this leaky gut, or that there is disturbed intestinal permeability in IBS patients. And this is under strong influence of metabolites produced by gut microbiota. Symmetry is also for serotonin, which is produced by enterochromaffin cells in the epithelium. And finally, of course, immune cells, the immune system is strongly shaped by the metabolites of the gut microbiota. So the influence is very complex, obviously, and the first step to try to understand is to see what is wrong with the gut microbiota. However, gut microbiota is really not simple. So if you just try to divide microbes into good and bad and talk about the balance between this good and bad, it is very difficult because, yes, indeed, bifidobacteria and lactobacilli are good, but if in inappropriate abundance, they will be also maybe not good. So it's a very complex ecosystem, and this equilibrium which is made between the constituents is not easy to understand, and especially because it's so complex. We often analyze microbiota on a very high taxonomic level, and we don't get meaningful data. So for instance, here we have a typical example of good bacteria, which is lactobacillus and a pathogen which is Clostridium difficile, and they both belong to Firmicutes speculum. And sometimes we talk about too high Firmicutes occur of IBS. So obviously the situation is not easy for it's very complex. The microbiota, and it's not easy to assess the markers of dysbiosis. Some genera are relatively simple. So for instance, Bifidobacterium genus is relatively pure genus. It is well described, it is well known the function of it. But we have predominant bacterial groups in the gut, for instance, Lactobacillus, and this is, I know, very confusing phylogenetic tree. But this is just an illustration that there is a huge taxonomic mix-up, and there is a need for reclassification of many of bacteria. So of course, no matter how good our pipelines are for interpreting the data of microbiota, it can be confusing. So no surprise, then we don't get a very clear output about markers of microbiota dysbiosis in IBS. So for instance, if we use qPCR, already done quite some time ago, there have been some markers of IBS, like Bifidobacterium is down, Lactobacillus are down, Rhodococcus productus is down. But another qPCR study will, for instance, show that the Lactobacilli and Gallionella are increased in abundance in IBS. So there have been huge differences in different reports. So we basically, when we compare microbiota of healthy and IBS, we always see something is wrong, but it is not really easy to see what is wrong. And even when we apply this comprehensive microbiota analysis like sequencing or phylogenetic microarrays, we do see that there is a segregation between, let's say, all patients, like we see in these plots, or some patients, like we see in this plot. But I here want to stress that the type of the analysis that was presented on these two graphs is different, because it is focusing on something which is making the microbiota of IBS patients and different. And this is principal component analysis, which is just giving a view of the microbiota in patients and controls. And obviously, some patients, they appear as normal microbiota-wise. Some patients, they have really strongly disturbed microbiota. So microbiota possibly will be a strong marker in only some of the patients of IBS, but obviously there's something wrong. But we just are not able yet to identify clearly what is wrong, because there is a lot of variation between individuals, and IBS is so heterogeneous, and yet we are working with very small numbers, as you see here. We're working with top 100 patients, and we probably need thousands to discover what is really wrong in microbiota and IBS. So what we have tried is to summarize what are the reproduced markers of microbiota dysbiosis in IBS, and there are some. So here in the phylogenetic tree of the microbiota diversity, in bold we have marked all the microbial groups which have been reproducibly in more than 2 studies reported as markers of IBS. And here we see Dorea, Blautia, and Roseburia as decreased in abundance, Faecalibacterium decreased in abundance, in general in IBS, but there are some groups which are also showing a different trend in different subtypes of IBS. For instance, Methanobrevibacter is in general decreased in IBS, yet it is in constipation predominantly increased. So obviously, microbiota will possibly eventually be used as a diagnostic marker, even to make a better stratification of IBS patients based on objective markers.
Let's see how this can
impact
physiologically. What happens
when something is wrong with the microbiota? Is it possible that this dysbiosis, because the composition of the microbes in the gut is wrong, let's say, disturbed, that other normal circumstances it can produce metabolites which can then provoke.
So this is a hypothesis
that microbiota is really an important mediator, which is then responding on food, on diet, to trigger symptoms in IBS patients.
So let's see how does it work.
If we see carbohydrate fermentation,
then we know that
all the complex polysaccharides, they need to be hydrolyzed by some microbial microbes,
and then
this monosaccharide is later on fermented into different metabolites. And if we see these groups which are here involved in the fermentation of monosaccharide, Dorea, Blautia, Methanobrevibacter, also Roseburia faecalibacterium, these are the names that I have mentioned as reproduced markers
IBS
microbiota
So
dysbiosis.
it seems that
a lot is going on around this carbohydrate fermentation.
and because the abundance of
And
these
because the
groups
abundance
is
of these
disturbed in
groups
IBS.
is disturbed in IBS.
What are the
output of the fermentation of carbohydrates in general? These are three main short-chain fatty acids.
acetate,
That is
propionate,
acetate,
but
propionate,
also
and
we get
butyrate.
a lot of
But also we get a lot of
and
gas,
the gases are
carbon dioxide and methane.
So it is possible
So it is possible
the composition
that because the composition of the microbiota in this among these carbohydrate fermentation microbes is disturbed, that we also get a disturbed output, a disturbed metabolic output.
And what is the most
relevant is probably this decrease of gas by methanobrevibacter activity, because there is this law of physics that every molecule of gas will take the same volume of
So if we have
the same volume. So if we have like 5 molecules here of gas, just by actional methanobrevibacter, the volume that it takes can be brought to the 1/5. So basically, methanobrevibacter's activity is really strongly decreasing the volume of gas which is present in the gut. So if we have that does not have sufficient or does not have enough of this or at all does not have methanobrevibacter, it is possible that this patient will have more gas and more bloating, and because IBS patients apparently are more susceptible to, they're not able to accommodate gas as good as, for instance, let's say a healthy person. It is possible that in these people who are predisposed, that this excessive gas will not be tolerated and will be provoking symptoms.
And if
we see what has been found recently, what is IBS severity score associated to, it was shown that a low amount of exhaled methane was a marker of IBS severity. So if we would have less methane, we would have more strong symptoms. If we would have less methanogen markia, we would have more symptoms. So obviously this is important for the development of IBS. There are also other things in the microbiota which are influencing symptoms, including low microbial richness and bacterial data center effect. Not everything is easy to postulate the possible mechanism, but we do have this also reproduced as a marker of the microbiota dysbiosis. So if carbohydrate fermentation is a problem, then of course one can suggest that possibly by reducing the amount of carbohydrate which is available for the gut bacteria, we can reduce symptoms. And this is what brings us to this FODMAP diets, which are fermentable. This is essential oligo D and monosaccharides and polyols. And if we decrease them in abundance, can we then improve symptoms? This has been reproducibly shown that if the symptoms of IBS will go down if a person is eating low FODMAP diet. Already some time ago it has been shown that a low FODMAP diet will be associated with a lower amount of produced hydrogen, and in healthy individuals who don't have disturbed microbiota, also with a decreased amount of methane. So obviously gases are very important for the generation of symptoms, and reduction just by simple removal of this carbohydrate, we could improve the symptoms.
Let's see what happens with the
microbiota if we are removing the carbohydrates, fermentable carbohydrates from the diet.
This was
addressed because in general knowledge we know that carbohydrate fermentation is beneficial for the host because short-chain fatty acids are formed in addition to these gases. So are we doing harm by removing the carbohydrates? Are we starving our good microbes? And what appears to be the case, yes. So we have like fecal bacteriocracy, which is anti-inflammatory potential non-probiotic. It is going down. Akkermansia, bifidobacteria, they're all going down in this diet. So maybe we are actually increasing even the dysbiosis in these patients by this, although we are removing the symptoms.
So therefore I think it is
important to consider other strategies for eliminating IBS symptoms, because for instance a similar effect can be achieved by traditional dietary advice for IBS, which is not so stringent
And in particular, I want to
And in particular, I want to focus on these two, on this Ruminococcus torcus, which is a
bacterium
bacterium particularly important, I think, for IBS, which is
always in this study,
increasing after
FODMAP,
removal
of
of
FODMAPs
FODMAPs from the diet.
Several studies have shown this is probably one of the most
reproduced findings regarding
dysbiosis
dysbiosis markers of microbiota, and this is
Ruminococcus torcus
slide. Bacterium is associated with the symptoms in IBS. So here we have a correlation for rumbling score, and then this Ruminococcus flavus, which is grouping this bacteria is correlated with rumbling depression, and in this other paper it was shown that it's correlating with bloating and pain.
And we call this
group of bacteria L-Ruminococci because these are mixed classified species that actually belong to Lactobacillus family. I know it's complicated, but this is just the way it is. So we'll call them L-Ruminococci. Because they have been in several studies also, like if we are applying the treatments, we see that with a symptom relief, this group goes down, then a group of Willem-de-Vos has committed to isolate and sequence the genome of this Ruminococcus-like bacterium, which is associated with irritable bowel syndrome. And this paper is out, yet they were not able really to find a putative mechanism of association between IBS and microbiota and this bacterium. And the hypothesis was probably that it is linked to proteolysis and to liberation of some amino acids.
And in direction of
proving basically this kind of concept, I want to say that another study which was testing levels of various diets, vegetarian, vegan, and normal diet in Italian population showed this L-Ruminococci are correlated with animal protein intake and with urinary PMAO, which is later on associated with cardiovascular.
So basically, it
seems that if we decrease the FODMAPs, then we increase the protein intake, we stimulate activity of some possibly hazardous metabolites and microbes in our gut.
I want to stress
that there are also other carbohydrates which can quantify microbiota composition, but also introduce possibly beneficial health effects. We don't talk so much about prebiotics anymore. Psyllium is, for instance, as far as I know, one of the first lines in treating constipation-predominant IBS.
And this
kind of or oligosaccharide, there are some
fermentable
carbohydrates which can have symptom improval, and then aligned with the basic correction of the dysbiosis. So I have said previously, probably you don't remember, but the DREA was increased in IBS, and that basically GOS treatment can decrease DREA in IBS patients and can increase bifidobacteria patients. In IBS patients, basically repairing the dysbiosis. We have to know that not all carbohydrates are the same. So different carbohydrates, although they're fermented, will be fermented into different metabolites. So if we have this carboxymectylcellulose, which is like hardly fermentable, it will produce a lot of gases, but not short-chain fatty acids. But then we have psyllium, which will get a lot relatively high proportion of butyrates as a fermentation output. So not every carbohydrate is harmful enough, and I think harmful equally. So I think it is important to keep that in mind. As I mentioned previously, short-chain fatty acids, in particular butyrate, is health beneficial carbohydrate fermentation output, and a study has shown that both methanogen producers and butyrate producers are in IBS patients. Why is that important? Butyrate is the main energy source in the bone for the epithelial cells. We know that all the glucose is basically already absorbed right in the upper GI tract and what comes to the colon doesn't contain glucose basically anymore. And then when the fermentation starts after the butyrate is released, then our epithelial cells are using it for their own energy production, for their breathing. It is an important metabolite, and because it is so important metabolite, it is actively involved in the immune regulation, and it is also very important for intestinal barrier function. Finally, it also acts as a histone deacetylase inhibitor, which means that it protects neurons from cell death and improves learning and memory. So this seems to be a very important metabolite. And beyond that, it seems also to be relevant for serotonin synthesis.
So we know that serotonin
is
like a hormone of happiness,
important for the brain function, but also important for the GI function. This was probably the first study which showed the association between the gut microbiota and serotonin. So they basically searched for the tryptophan metabolites and in germ-free mice and in conventional mice. And they saw that in the lumen of germ-free mice and conventional mice, there was a huge difference for many tryptophan metabolites, and here is the serotonin, which was obviously six-fold lower in germ-free mice. So if we don't have microbiota, we are producing much less serotonin.
They also have identified
some other metabolites like this indopropionic acid, which was important for Alzheimer's disease and which was basically not existing in germ-free mice, indicating that microbiota is having an important influence on neural function as well.
In particular, in serotonin,
this was interesting, and it was studied further. And there was a study in which they have tried to identify which are the bacteria whose presence is needed to produce serotonin. And there were several steps of stimulation of serotonin synthesis. And what became clear is that it is produced by enterochromatin cells, which means human cells, but upon a stimulation by particular metabolites of gut bacteria. And it was not possible in that study to identify a single species which is responsible for this production, but at least they came to a group of this called pathogen-free microbiota, which is often used in this germ-free experiments, that it was possible to stimulate serotonin synthesis. Recently, in this 2007 paper, it was reproduced that if the mice are conventionalized with this pathogen-free microbiota, that the level of serotonin will increase in situ, lumen and in colon, but also in tissue of the colon. So obviously, this bacteria can stimulate production of serotonin, and what is even more important is that there was this stimulation which was done with two of the short-chain fatty acids, so acetate and butyric. And obviously,
in contrast to LPS
from Escherichia coli, these short-chain fatty acids were able to stimulate
the production of
serotonin by increasing the expression of tryptophan hydrolase, which is the first step in serotonin synthesis.
Short-chain fatty acids
are not only important directly by influencing the GI epithelium itself, but also for stimulating the cascade of production of the other metabolites, including serotonin. With this, I think I was slightly faster than I planned, but I want to summarize my talk, and I want to say that what appears to be the case is that there is something wrong with the microbiota of IBS patients, because whatever technology we use, whatever methodology we use, we see that there is a dysbiosis. However, not many markers were reproduced, and it has to do with a huge diversity of the ecosystem, with a huge inter-individual variation, also with the fact that IBS is really heterogeneous disease. But we can already speculate about the mechanistic involvement of the microbiota in the symptoms of IBS, and the strongest proofs that we have in this sense is that microbiota is producing or utilizing gas in adequate way or inadequate way in IBS patients, and thus promotes the symptoms in IBS. However, the interaction between microbiota diet and IBS is really complex, and I think that we have to keep in mind the complexity of the ecosystem, and sometimes even the symptom alleviation is not necessarily a good sign for the patient, because the long-term effects of some kind of treatment might be not desirable ones, because we have to understand that microbiota needs to be fed and nicely treated in order to treat us
in order to preserve
symbiosis between us and this important ecosystem. So with this slide, I would like to give credit to all the microbes and thank you for the attention.